I get it. If I had to choose between people I love and some reflections of people 1/14 of a human being, I know what my choice would be. By the 12 are we gonna have spoilers? So the other day, while running around doing my dailies, I asked my boys over Discord, who's your favorite scion? One son said to me, Estinian. Obviously, he just likes killing and is always broke, and he talks to dragons. Not bad. My other one said Tataru. I think she's secretly the ultimate bad guy. There's something not right about her, and I can't wait until she lets it slip. I think he was joking, but he makes a fair point. And when I asked my third son, he simply said Emmet. And I was like, I'm talking about your favorite characters. Which scion? I know, Dad. Emet-Selch, he said. Hades. The founder of the Garlean Empire. Okay. And that's when he brought me to his room to remind me, because it was me after all that bought that poster that hangs over his bed. I can't deny his love for that character. So I asked him again why. And like any teenage boy, he simply said, 'cause he's awesome. How do you argue with that? Back when my son was in elementary school, we had him on asthma inhalers. They slowed down his growth due to the steroids, and he was a little sensitive about it. He was shorter than a lot of the other kids his age, and he couldn't do anything about it. One day at school, a friend of his older brother was standing outside when he walked by and simply greeted him. Hey little buddy, aren't you tiny? That greeting was met with a smack right in the kisser. I'm not little. Oh man, after our talk with the principal, I was stuck not wanting my son to be violent, but I also was a little proud of him for standing up for himself. This led to kids leaving him alone, but left him feeling misunderstood. It was still wrong, but knowing what he was going through, I understood it. That though he had done something bad, there were reasons out of his control. We're first introduced to Emet-Selch as Solus Zosgalvis in Final Fantasy XIV's expansion Stormblood. From there, he was obviously the main antagonist in Shadowbringers, where we get a clearer understanding of his motives.
For our world, for our people, for all creation to be made whole again.
As well as the reason for his callousness toward the people of the First, let alone all the reflections. We get to see why he held strong to his convictions and what his endgame really was. And at the end of Shadowbringers, we got to understand his love for his people. And then in 5.3, we got to see an Emet-Selch support us in our convictions to save the world. And by the time he reappeared in Endwalker, my son was beside himself. A whole new perspective of the villain that almost destroyed the world. Now, a superhero striving to save it. Yet along the way, holding to the same convictions and being the same person as who he was when we first met him. That lovable jerk. What makes Emet-Selch not just a good villain, but that he's just a great character with a great redemption arc through 3 expansions, written so well by Natsuko Ichikawa. A story of cruelty, misunderstanding, sadness, and eventually atonement. Okay, minus the few genocides here and there. He did kill a lot of people. I can't deny that. Yeah, I guess he was a pretty bad dad when he created the Garlean Empire.
Don't take it personally.
But the point is, he's a character that a lot of people, including my son, found to be so fascinating. In what started out as a single-minded, one-dimensional character, he turned out to have layers to his complexity.
Layers! Onions have layers.
And it was in that complexity that my son was able to relate to Emmet. It was in the fact that though he may have done something bad, there were reasons. Reasons like Endsinger trying to destroy his world. But as time went on, or more specifically, you move further along the MSQ in both Shadowbringers and Endwalker, we got to see another side of him, especially in light of his relationship with Hythlodaeus.
That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer Hope's creation.
Oof, that was rough. And as my son went further into the stories of Endwalker, he found a character that he could relate to, understand, and empathize with. Once again, minus the mass destruction and taking of lives. I told my son, we can all feel misunderstood, but it's up to us to show the world who we really are. That despite some bad moments of bad judgment, you can, son, like Emmet, be a force of good in the world with your actions. That, and be a force for good fashion sense like Emmet as well. My boy loves to wear shirts and ties. He loves the military look of the Garleans. Heck, he glamored all his armor to the 55 set. From level 60, when he got it, all the way through to Endwalker, he was a Garlean. And Emet-Selch, his inspiration. Because no matter how bad Emet-Selch was, to my son, he was oh so good. Let's just keep the erasure of civilizations down to a minimum, okay?